Hello again, my fellow creeps, mask collectors, horror lovers, Halloween fans, nuclear physicists, and pastry chefs. It's time once again for Creepy Cheapies with Dr. Lady. I'm Silas Mendicant, and you know, I read somewhere that when you're doing a public speaking, when you're doing any sort of presentation, you should start with a joke. So, a limbo champion walks into a bar and loses. Okay, having said that, let's go on to tonight's mask, or today's mask if you're watching this in the daytime. Boy, this one is even more awkwardly positioned than they typically are. It's a fantastically good and scary mask called, and here's how we know what it's called. It says right on the tag here, Scarecrow Zombie. That's right. Now, I would have probably called it Zombie Scarecrow, because I look at him and I think, you know, what kind of scarecrow is he? He's a zombie scarecrow. But the makers of the mask looked at him the other way and thought, what sort of zombie is he? He's a scarecrow zombie. So they called it Scarecrow Zombie. He might be available online under either appellation, actually, but not necessarily in the appellations. What a great mask this is. It came out in 2018 from the folks at Lord Grimley's Manor. This is one of 3 Lord Grimley's Manor originals, sculpted just for sale through them. By the legendary and talented mask sculptor, Mr. John Fuller. And we'll zoom up here on Scarecrow Zombie so you can get a good look. What a creepy thing this is. Scarecrow masks are always good, I think, because they're so easy to costume. You can make a good costume for a Scarecrow mask out of virtually anything. Old clothes, raggedy stuff, old coats. You could put patches on them. You can get some raffia and stick it out of, have it sticking out of gaps in the costume here and there. But it doesn't have to match. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can look all nasty and gnarly and dirty. And it's just a fun kind of costume to make. Now, I've got a piece of black stuff, black substance in there, but this eye hole is cut out. It's just cut out for you to see out of. And he has this one spooky dead eye, which I really like. And he has such an unusual sort of persona. Some zombies sort of have this look, but he has kind of an exceptionally odd and unique, far away, tragic, hopeless, sad sort of look. In fact, as far as what I would do with him at the haunted house, I don't think I would have him like, I don't see him rushing out, lunging at you, brandishing a weapon and trying to kill you. I prefer him just standing a few yards away from you, just watching you, just looking at you, in the manner of Michael Myers before he attacks. If you've seen any of the Michael Myers movies, you may remember sometimes you just see him standing there. I think this guy would do that. I think he's the kind of dead guy who, is unhappy and wants you to feel guilty. I think he blames you for his unhappy condition, at least to some degree. You know, I think he thinks you're responsible, and he basically wants to lay a guilt trip on people. So I think he would stand somewhere and just watch you and just be staring and looking at you, and you don't know what he's going to do, but he keeps kind of following you and he keeps looking at you from a distance, and he doesn't actively threaten you. He's just hanging back, keeping his one eye on you and making you feel bad. I think that's what he likes to do, you know. I think, this is where that old saying comes from, when Scarecrow Zombie ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Okay, that's not an old saying, it's a new saying, but it is a saying now because I've just said it. Anyway, as you can see, he's on a high-quality cardboard mailing tube here, maintaining our typical high level of quality that we do here at Horror Hotel, and he is a fine creation. Now, there were only 100 of these made, and I didn't do anything to the paint or anything. I don't know what color this looks like on your monitor of choice, but in person, the skin is sort of just faintly purple. It's gray with just a hint of purple in it, and the rest of it, of course, brown, like a burlappy color. But a good one to just creep people out rather than chasing them around. I think he's a good creeper outer. And he's got a lot of nice depth to the mouth too, I should mention. But did I cover it? Did I get everything you wanted to say wanted me to say about you? To just creep people out, keep an eye on them? Yeah, you like to watch them, don't you? Yeah, you like to give them the creeps. Okay, or sell them the creeps. Maybe not give away creeps, because who can give away creeps? these days. But yeah, in fact, he says, what? That's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. All right, I'll tell him. He says he's actually behind you right now as you're watching this video. He's standing behind you a few feet back watching you. That's ridiculous. How could you possibly... You're here with me. See? What? Oh, you're taking into account the fact that when they watch it, it'll be sometime after the time when I was shooting it. That still doesn't make any sense. How could you possibly be behind them, watching the video of you? How could you possibly... What? You dare them. He says he dares you to turn around and look behind you right now. I wouldn't.